Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome into Murder Your Bookie, week number 12. If you guys missed out, we did Thanksgiving games, but obviously it's past Thanksgiving by now, so I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. We were recording this before that. Hopefully the games were good. I assume they were. So if you guys watched the Thanksgiving episode, you guys know that now we have a sponsor. Thank you so much to mybookie.ag for sponsoring us. The link is down below in the description. If you use code notoriously at checkout, you get a whole bunch of bonuses. New players will get their first deposit matched halfway up to $1,000 to help add even more excitement to a great football weekend because there are no buys this week. So there's a million games. If you guys also want to check that out, you use the code. You can also get Black Friday boosted odds and finish the holiday strong with buy one, get one free, Cyber Monday night football odds and all this stuff. So it's actually great to check out mybookie.ag. That's why MyBookie calls it the football season. It's winning season, baby. Check it out. No risk, all gravy, baby. Don't forget to use promo code notoriously to claim your freebies. Make sure you guys check that out. If you didn't already from the Thanksgiving video, I would really appreciate that. Notoriously at the checkout or as the promo code, whatever you like to call it on there. Again, link down below in the description. So before we get into it as well, I would like to announce that my picks last week were absolutely atrocious. Actually, I went 3-2, so they're not as bad. But my lock, I was so wrong on. The Dolphins, I'll be the first one to say it. The Dolphins sucked on Sunday. I won't even lie to you. They looked atrocious. They did not. Chan Gailey might be the dumbest offensive coordinator ever because he doesn't let Tua do anything. He confines him into a little box for Tua. They don't let him go 5 wide or anything. It's absolutely disgusting. Fuck you, Chan Gailey, and fuck you, Brian Flores, for benching Tua and absolutely destroying his confidence. I would not going to be surprised if the Dolphins lose to the Jets on Sunday, so they're not even a part of this slate. So let's get into it. I apologize to anyone who I triggered with my anger warning over there. Do you have anything to say, Lucas, before we get into it?
I mean, my lock, like the Bengals football team over 46.5. What was the final score of that game? So Joe Burrow fumbled it on the 1 yard line, so that's a 7-point swing. Then he tore his ACL. The final score was 20-9. So like it literally, like, the football team scored their 20 points, and that's all I needed. So the process was sound there, just bad, wrong side of variance. I mean, the Falcons, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even like, that was the game I watched because I was hoping, well, one, I wanted to see this whole Taysom Hill thing, and I was hoping Winston would get in. And I don't know what the Falcons are doing with their offense. It's so bad, but not betting them again. The Jets, though, we were right on the Jets that the market was way too high on the Chargers. The Jets got the backdoor sort of cover. I stacked a lot of Jets in fantasy, and it worked for a week, but I hopefully never have to do that again. But besides the point, we're still profitable. Obviously, my percentage ROI is going down because, like I said, when you're only making 5 picks, it's nearly impossible to keep up 65% every single week because you're either hitting 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, but we're still 61%. Combined, we're 55. You're climbing up to, you're going to get to over 52. I know it. Just a matter of time. You're going to get over 52. The locks are still profitable. We're crushing Max and Animal, Max and Snacks, sorry. We offered them, I offered them that we could pick all the Thanksgiving games to give them a chance to come back in, and they said they didn't need it. So we're going to see if they can come back on us.
Yeah, we are 14-8 combined. We are both 7-4. It's just been, I think every time you lose, I lose, or like this vice fucking versa. It seems like we are never both missing.
Yeah.
It's either we both miss or we both make it pretty much every single week. So let's get into it. Week 12 picks. Hopefully you guys do end up enjoying this. So I'll begin with my first pick, but I'll actually skip over it because it's Lucas's lock. So I'll give 3 picks, and then when Lucas goes to his lock, I'll also talk about that. So my third most confidence pick, we go in order of confidence. 1, obviously, most confident. 5, least confident. My number 2 confident pick is Lucas's lock, so we won't talk about it yet. So number 3, Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals. I like the Giants -6. I don't trust Ryan Finley, worth jack of all shit. I actually think this New York Football Giants team is going to make the playoffs. Probably, depending on how it rolls for the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Eagles somehow upset the Seattle Seahawks, then maybe they don't make it. But the Giants look like a very good team. Wayne Gallman looks like a very solid running back. And this offense looks pretty good. And their defense is actually very good in comparison to what you would think of the New York Football Giants' defense. The Bengals offense is going to be sluggish with Ryan Finley under center. The difference between Finley and Joe Burrow is night and day. Sadly, Joe Burrow ended up tearing his ACL. Obviously, you hate to see that, regardless of what team you're a fan of. Even if you're a Steelers fan, you probably hate the fucking Bengals, and you're probably sad to see Joe Burrow go down. That was obviously a terrible thing to happen. Hopefully he bounces back next year. But the Bengals with Ryan Finley, I do not trust them at all. I don't think they're going to be any good. I think that the Giants football team is good enough to beat them. And what is Ryan Finley going to do when he's getting sacked 7 million times? Because Burrow was getting laid on his ass, but he was at least able to run around there like a chicken with his head cut off behind the pocket or behind the offensive line. Now I doubt that's going to be able to happen with Finley. So I like the Giants -6 against the Bengals. What are your thoughts, Mr. Lucas?
Yeah, I think the only obviously concern I have is the Giants, so I might just tease him down to a pick 'em. I'm gonna attack all Daniel Jones rushing props. Yeah, this is the lowest, and this is kind of like bad to say. This is the lowest you're gonna get the Bengals in terms of a spread perspective against the Giants. Like,
yeah,
assuming Finley's as bad as he is, I don't even know who they play next week. I think you said the Steelers maybe, or it doesn't matter. Like the spread is gonna be like 4 points worse than what it would be this week. Yeah, I think the Giants, I don't want to say roll them because obviously it's the Giants, but the Giants handle them pretty good on the road. Like I said, Daniel Jones, I think it's 5.5 somewhere. I think my bookie had it at 5.5. Obviously it moves around. So I like that. If you can get it even lower, even 6 though is fine. Tease it down to 0. I think this is the right side of the game here.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals next week play the Dolphins, and assuming the Dolphins actually beat the Jets, then I think it'll be a higher number there, at least. So I like the Giants over here. I think the Giants will absolutely demolish them. At least they should, but it's hard to say that when you're talking about the Giants demolishing someone, especially with Daniel Jones being as inconsistent as he is. But up against the Cincinnati defense, I like the Giants -6. So who is your second most confident pick of the day?
Yep. So I got the Tennessee Titans +4 against the Colts. A lot can be said about what's happened in these last 2 weeks for these teams, or what's happened the whole year. Like, I was pretty heavy on these two teams being super up and down with how people view them and the Colts, because I'm pretty high on the Colts. Titans are my only Super Bowl bet that I made. I still think they're one of the better teams in the NFL, despite with some games they've shown. But 4 is just too much here. I think that both teams coming off big wins. I think that these games, besides the last game, which was just a terrible, like if AJ Brown would have dropped that touchdown pass, we're talking a whole other game.
Yeah.
That the Titans would have not gotten demolished a little bit. I think that the +4 is just too much here. Especially, like I said, they're both coming off high wins, so they're both going to be a little bit of a disappointment spot. This is probably the most important game of the season for these guys. Kind of, I believe they're Colts are up 1 in the division or tied. Either way, though, like if the Colts win this, they have the lead, or they end it realistically, and then vice versa for the Titans. So I'm going the Titans +4 here. I get it now because I can't imagine it goes up by more than this after.
I don't think so.
Like, obviously, we were split on the Colts-Packers game last week. I don't even know who was on the right side. Like, everything I thought the Colts' reasoning was like, didn't show for the whole defensive side. So I think I'm just going to take the points here in what should be a close matchup.
I agree. This is my 4th most confident pick. I like the Titans as well. I think the first time these two teams played, the Titans got up to a big lead early on that Thursday night football game, I believe it was. And then in the second half, they just got absolutely dicked down. They stood no chance in the second half. I think this is a different game. The Colts are coming off of a game that went into overtime, and that is something to note when these teams go and that they play that extra quarter. Typically, that just has an impact on them the next week. I'm not sure why. I don't know why, but apparently that's what people say. That's what people think. So the Tennessee Titans +4. Derrick Henry formed an L right on their forehead. They also went to overtime, so that actually completely nulls my opinion there. They both went in overtime last week. I like the Tennessee Titans +4 strictly because I think that they just are going to look a lot better this time. Jonnu Smith was banged up in that game the first time they played, didn't play that well. Jonnu Smith is a vital point of this offense when they're at least in the red zone. So I think Tennessee +4 is going to be a lock. And welcome to Lucas's Xbox that he accidentally smacked into.
Yeah, it just randomly turned on. It does that sometimes. It's like the original Gen 1. Yeah, just don't buy the old ones, I guess. But yeah, no, I think this is, if this was Colts +4, I'd do the same thing, right? Like if the Titans would have beat them week or 2 weeks ago, like it's just you take the points in these cases. So yeah. My 3rd pick here, I was kind of shocked to see this line, Carolina +4 against the Vikings on the road. And yeah, I don't know. I was just shocked to see this with Adam Thielen being put on the COVID list. The Vikings, I don't want to say they played bad. I don't think they played bad last week. I think the Cowboys, when they're hitting with Dalton, they're about an even team. but like Carolina's defense, I said in the Thanksgiving episode, is like oddly good for how bad they are.
Yeah,
Their run defense is kind of shaping up a little bit, but I'm just going to take the +4 here with a team that's seen that it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for him, PJ Walker, Teddy B. Like it didn't matter. I don't think McCaffrey's coming back, but like there's speculation he might. And then I think even if Mike Davis, like we've said, some teams that the spread doesn't move, running backs don't matter, right? So
yeah,
I'll take +4 here. Tennessee and a Carolina teaser at +10 seems really intriguing as well.
I agree.
Even money lines for both those teams seem really nice. So I'm going to take Carolina. They're kind of growing on me, maybe due to all my Teddy B and DJ Moore fantasy shares, but I'm kind of falling in love with what they're doing a little bit.
Yeah, even if I think Teddy Bridgewater's going to play, my opinion on Christian McCaffrey, I don't think he's going to play. They said he could play, and then they're uncertain, and then they're like, he's probably not going to play. It doesn't fucking matter, though. Mike Davis actually had a bounce-back game last week and looked very good in that matchup. The Panthers versus the Vikings, I don't like the Vikings at all. I just don't trust them. Like you said, Adam Thielen is on the corona thing. So he could miss the game. He could play. Again, the rules for the coronavirus stuff legitimately makes no sense. Some guys, they get on this thing and then they miss for 2 weeks. Other guys, they get on this thing and then they're back 3 days later. I don't understand how it works. But with that said, I agree with you. The Carolina Panthers are a real frisky team in the NFL, and they could outright beat the Vikings by like 10 points, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. So I'll take Carolina +4 as well. I like that pick. My next pick here, my fifth most confident one, and then we'll get to Lucas's fourth and fifth, and then we'll go to our locks. I got the Browns at the Jaguars, over 49. Now, this might sound absolutely stupid in your head, right? But the Browns are down a couple of players on defense, and I don't think Myles Garrett, he could play, could not play. So over 49 seems like a really good pick in this matchup. Jake Luton hasn't looked good at all. I understand he got shut out by the Pittsburgh Steelers pretty much, but the Steelers, again, one of the best defenses in the NFL. The Browns looked good last week as well on defense up against Carson Wentz, but I think that Carson Wentz just doesn't have the like weird big play upside that a guy like Luton has, where he'll just heave the ball down the field. That'll either be a pick six or could be a touchdown your way. So I like the over 49. I feel like this is not going to move at all. If anything, it's going to move up higher in my opinion, because a lot of people have a high opinion on the Browns, especially their run game being able to score them a million points. So I like the over 49 in this matchup. Again, it is kind of scary because Jake Luton fucking sucks, but I'm going to take it anyways. I'm no scaredy cat. Over 49, Browns versus Jaguars. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that before the Garrett and freaking their corner,
Yeah, his name escapes me. That's why I didn't say his name.
Denzel Ward, before they were ruled out, the under was like smash for me because both offenses can't score 24 and a half, like relatively, if you're just going to split it in half points. But yeah, no, now I think without Ward, I think Chark can get going. I think this is going to be just a James Robinson and Nick Chubb, just ground game galore.
Yeah.
But I think 49 is nice. Tease it down, 43, similar kind of vibes there. But yeah, I think that's the play. I think you can play the under now, I guess is what I'm trying to say with the injury news we do have.
Okay, that makes sense. So who is your fourth and fifth most confident picks? And then we'll get to the Lockies.
Yeah. After my first three, it was kind of hard, obviously, because there's 3 games on Thursday to find a lot of value I liked. So I'm settling with the Niners +7.5. We're recording this on Tuesday, obviously. Prime time, Tampa Brady and his band of misfits, band of all-stars that they can't win, lost to the Rams last night.
Pain.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't feel like I needed to watch the game. But I know the Rams aren't 7.5 points better. I'm not even going to say that the Niners. Then Kyle Shanahan, that's off a bye. I believe they had a bye last week, and off the Rams on a short week. Combining those together, 7.5 is just too many points. Shanahan's going to have something schemed up to. I'm pretty sure they kind of stomped the Rams last time they played them too. I mean, it's just a scheme. Like that's all it is. Shanahan knows how to scheme teams, and you give him an extra week to do it against this Rams team. He's been clicking. They're kind of going to have some confidence. Kind of come off a high from last week, short week. Take the 7.5. Could be a little money line, sort of sneaky little bit of a sprinkle play here as well, because people definitely will not be on the Niners side in this game.
Yeah, this is a trap game and a half for the Rams. They just smacked the shit out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a primetime game. There's no way they win this matchup. At least against the spread, -7.5. The 49ers, like you said with Shanahan, this game screams to me, Raheem Mostert gets the ball like one time from like and runs like a 90-yard touchdown or something, because that's just what Raheem Mostert does. Seems like he's going to suit up in this game. The Niners are somehow going to keep this close. They kept it pretty close against the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago. Even though they lost, they came back into the game. I just feel like the 49ers are just going to be covers galore. They're just going to come back into the game, even if they're down 14 with like 3 minutes to go. They'll just march down the field against the Rams because Jalen Ramsey looks like an absolute bitch in that matchup. I don't know if you saw it on Monday. You didn't see it because you said you didn't watch, but Mike Evans literally grabbed Jalen Ramsey and threw him into the dirt, and he came. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But with that said, the Rams are going to go ahead and not cover this game. San Francisco plus 7.5. I like that. I'm definitely not taking my lean would probably be to not take this at all, but I'm definitely not taking the Rams minus 7.5. Just seems like a trap. So what's your fifth most confident one here?
Yeah, the Cardinals minus 2.5 against the Patriots. I'm done trying to say like Belichick off a loss, Belichick blah blah blah, Belichick off this, because the Patriots just flat out suck. Like they I don't know. They couldn't, like, Watson's great. I think he's top 3 quarterback in the league. I get they have Fuller, I get they have Cooks, but how can you play 6 defensive backs? How can you not beat a team that has 2 receivers and 1 quarterback and doesn't run the ball? Like but this is where I could be wrong because they play 6 DBs. Now they're going against the air raid. They're going against a team that spreads the ball out. Like this, they can ultimately shut it down. But from what I've seen, like that's not happening. The Cardinals kind of need to get it. The Cardinals kind of need to get a bounce back. Obviously, they had to let down after the Hail Mary 2 weeks ago. They played Seattle on a short week. Kind of San Francisco, LA Rams vibes a little bit. So I think the Cardinals, if they're going to get a game right, it's got to be this one. And there's really no better way to get a game right to stay in the lead of this division or stay tied for the lead in this division now than beating Bill Belichick. So I'm just going to lay the 2.5. I don't super love it though, but I think it's the right play.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that there's any way that the Cardinals lose this game. The Patriots just fucking suck. I don't know how they lost to the Houston Texans, to be honest with you. I thought that was going to be a game where they just ended up winning. They screwed my Dolphins over by losing to the Texans because the Texans now have a worse pick. So fuck you, Bill Belichick. Arizona minus 2.5. So my lock here, Seattle at the Eagles. I'm taking Seattle minus 5.5. It is just, to me, Seattle is just a far better team. And it's not even that I think Seattle's like one of the best teams in the NFL. They may be, but the defense has looked bad. They've looked better as of recently, but the Eagles offense is just so bad. They don't seem like they're on sync at all. It seems like Carson Wentz wants to do something. The receiver is doing the other thing. It seems like he's never thrown the ball anywhere near these guys half the time. And I just don't think that the Eagles are really any good. That fact that they had a tie up against the Bengals earlier in the season may be the reason why they actually end up playing in the playoffs to ultimately get smacked by whoever they play against. But Seattle here, they are on fire. They just won a game finally. A big game up against the Arizona Cardinals. That was like kind of, if I feel like if the Cardinals won that game, the Seahawks would have just been, not that they would be dead for the division, but they just wouldn't have been, in my opinion, I wouldn't have felt as confident in them. But here against the Eagles, with what the Eagles showed me last week, I like Seattle minus 5.5, and I don't think there's really any way to pick this the other way. I don't know how someone could talk me into playing the Eagles. So what do you think? Seattle minus 5.5 for the lock.
Yeah, this one, like, it's just weird because 5.5 is such a weird number, but like, I don't know. I think like Jalen Hurts might play, so I think Seattle's the lay here. I don't think it goes towards the Eagles. So if you're gonna get it now. Yeah, it's just a weird like game, and they're like hyping it up on like NBC or whatever, like next week game primetime game. Like, that's so gross. Like the Eagles suck. Carson Wentz sucks. The coaching staff is incapable of making, because they put themselves in such bad cap positions, such bad trade positions. They're incapable of making like big decisions to swing the direction of the franchise. So yeah, take Seattle here. Like, this is a big game for Seattle. I think the Rams are in the lead of the division, if I remember right. Maybe it's like it might be a 3-way tie actually between them and the Cardinals. I don't really know, to be honest with you. So I think this is a big game. They kind of need to win because hypothetically the Rams should beat the Niners. So I think this is a good line on Seattle here.
Yeah, the Rams are 7-3. The Seattle Seahawks are 7-3. The Cardinals are 6-4. So it is a very close for this division. So this game does matter a lot for Seattle. I think they win this game pretty easily. I just don't like the Eagles at all. So who is your lock? And then I'll talk about it as well because it's my second most confident pick.
Yeah. So if you're smart like me, you always look at the Chiefs lines Monday or Monday night or Tuesday morning, because I bet the Chiefs at -3 against the Buccaneers. It was still at that on my bookie. By Friday, there's not a chance it's -3. But they play the Bucs. Minus 3.5 is the line that I have for the lock though, because we are using DraftKings against Snacks and Animal for this one. The rest of my bookie lines, but I didn't watch the game, like I said, but I have been watching Sean Murphy bunting, and he's the absolute worst slot corner, worst corner in the league this year. And that is hard to say because there are so many corners. It's brutal. He's graded so bad. And Cooper Kupp had 11 catches last night. I cannot wait to see what Tyreek Hill does in the slot to this guy. They don't have the linebacker speed to cover Tyreek Hill. They're not going to switch up the way they cover their corners because they haven't yet. They did not do it last night. Like the Bucs team, I mean, it's the perfect fit for Tom Brady. It's the most overhyped team. Obviously, they're good. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're losing these dumb games because I saw a stat they had like 60 plays last night. 3 plays they ran motion. Like we're not running the freaking pro formations back from 1960. Like run some freaking, I don't know, something. Literally anything. Like the Chiefs' offense is way too good. The Chiefs' offense, like I guess people might be a little bit down on them because they're kind of up and down. Like the Raiders played them good. They haven't even they haven't even unleashed these plays where they throw the ball 50 yards across the field to Tyreek Hill. They do these weird handoffs to Tyreek. McCole Hardman barely even plays. Like there's so much stuff they have yet to unlock, and I think this could be a game where they know if they come out and they stomp Brady, they just put it right to him that all that's going to switch. So I'm laying the 3.5 here. I already bet the 3. Always the Chiefs bet Mahomes versus Brady. I'm taking Mahomes every time. I'm not betting the washed up Bucs offense that still gives Ronald Jones and Ford. Like there's still this debate on Twitter every single week who's better. When in reality, who cares? Because it does not matter who is better because they both suck. Like it's just not good. And they just spread who's the wide receiver 1? I don't know. Like Gronk still is washed. So I'm just gonna take the Chiefs minus 3.5. If you get them at 3, do it. Money line. I don't care. They're gonna roll the Bucs in this game. You're on mute.
My bad, boys. I was muted. It's okay. Boys and girls, there are some girls that watch this. My bad. The Chiefs versus the Bucs. I completely agree with you. They're my second most confident pick. The Bucs are a fraudulent fucking team. I hope Tom Brady eats dirt and doesn't make the playoffs. Even though I bet on them to make the playoffs, I have some type of fucking parlay, and they're in there.
They'll
make
the playoffs.
No, I have them to win the NFC, whatever fucking division they're in. But I hate them. I hate Tom Brady. He sucks. He's a fraud. I don't care if they win this game. Go fucking Chiefs. The Chiefs, I have money on them to win the Super Bowl. So I hope they win the Super Bowl. If it's not my Dolphins, of course. And I also have Pat Mahomes to win MVP, which I feel like is a lock at this point. This game screams like it's going to be like -6 or something crazy by the time they actually play this game because no one is going to be on the Bucs after seeing them get absolutely destroyed in that football game up against the Rams. Tom Brady looked like he had no idea what was going on. He threw so many picks in that game. He probably threw the worst pick of his career because it was nowhere near Mike Evans, I believe, who he threw the ball to. He just threw it to the middle of the field like he was throwing it to the logo at center field instead of throwing it to the receiver. It made no sense. Chiefs by a million in this matchup. Fuck the Buccaneers.
It's just like hypothetically, just hear me out here. Okay, switch these quarterbacks around, right? Mahomes has Antonio Brown, Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronk. Like I just said, Rojo and Fournette are bad, but like Rojo and Fournette is better than CEH and Le'Veon Bell. Like I get you losing Kelsey, but like it doesn't make sense how they can roll that team out there. Like legit a Hall of Fame receiver, probably another Hall of Fame receiver, and if Godwin trends right, another Hall of Fame receiver, a Hall of Fame tight end, a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best offensive lines, and they can't win these games. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. These lines will like 3.5. I bet you if Tom Brady, there wasn't the whole like Tom Brady support, this would be a 5 or a 6. Like it's one of these times the lines are going to adjust. So get on the side of it now and take the Chiefs here.
I completely agree. Don't go ahead and be a fool and take the Buccaneers. Thinking +3.5 seems too good. It's too good to be true. Just so you guys know, too good to be true. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you did at any point end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys use code notoriously at checkout or as the promo code on my bookie for all those bonuses. Make sure you guys check out Black Friday if this video is out by now on Friday. If not, make sure you guys check out the buy one, get one free Cyber Monday night football deals. I really would appreciate it. Mybookie.ag. Lucas, do you have anything to say before we get out of here?
Nope. Hopefully we can get the 80% per week hit and so I can get back up to 65, 66% here.
That's a fact. So have a great rest of your guys' day. I appreciate it. See you motherfuckers in next week's video. I love you all. Good boy.